Hey everyone, I'm Mikaela South. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a makeup tutorial. This is going to be a smoky glam sort of nude lip look, which is one of my favorites. Valentine's Day is around the corner. This is the look that I want to create this year, so let's get started. For my foundation today, I'm going to be using more of a tint, very sheer light formula. This one's from Glossier. It's the Perfecting Skin Tint. So I'm gonna give this a really good shake, and this is how it comes. You sort of have to be careful with it. It's pretty liquidy, so when it comes out, I'm gonna start out with a few drops on the top of my hand, and I'm gonna use my fingers to blend this in. I'm really enjoying kind of building the coverage with this, and I like that my skin still shows through a little bit. It doesn't feel like I'm masking my skin with a ton of foundation. Maybe I'll do a full review with all of the Glossier products that I have in a separate video soon. Let me know if that's something that you would like to see. Before I move on to concealer, I'm gonna put on a little bit of lip moisturizer. This is the By Terry Rose Lip Balm, which I absolutely love, just to moisturize my lips. I like to do this before I get to lipstick or lip liner at the very end, so it's hydrating, kind of priming and prepping my lips before I get to the lipstick. I feel so moisturizing. I love this one. A newer concealer that I've been testing out and I absolutely love is called Too Faced Born This Way. I really like this concealer. I am going to use this just to buff out a few little areas on my face where I still feel like I need extra. Been getting this little red patch underneath my eye on my cheekbone here for a few years now. So trying to prevent it from getting worse by wearing sunscreen and using vitamin C serums and doing a lot with my skincare, but this area always tends to get a little bit red for me. It also could be the early stages of rosacea. Next, I'm going to apply the Urban Decay Primer Potion for my eyelids. Highly recommend this if you are somebody who notices your eyeshadows kind of fade throughout the day, or you get creasing from your shadows. This is excellent to help them stay put. And for this product, I prefer to use my fingertip. I think it works much better than using a brush. So I'm lightly just gonna pat this in all the way from the roots of my lashes all the way up to my eyebrows. Looking so pale. It's okay, we're gonna add a little bit of color in a minute. Now that I have on the foundation, a little concealer, and the eyeshadow primer, we're gonna use eyeshadow. And I love this palette from Honest Beauty. It's called Smoky Gray. And here it is, such a gorgeous palette. I've been having so much fun testing these colors out. I'm really impressed with the color payoff and how gorgeous they are. So for this first shade, it's kind of a sandy, kind of beigey champagne color. It's so gorgeous. Next, I'm using a cream eyeshadow from Gressa. This one's called Bronze. And I'm gonna use my fluffy eyeshadow brush to pick up a little bit of the color, and we're gonna put that in the crease and just ever so slightly create a light definition. I love this just for a daytime look with a little bit of eyeliner and mascara. It would be so pretty. But since we're going for sort of a Valentine's Day, more of a smoky eye, we're gonna build the color using the other powder eyeshadows. I'm gonna take a clean eyeshadow brush just to soften this and blend this out. Now I'm gonna take a slightly smaller brush. This is the Sigma E30. I have a few of these in my kit. It's a slightly tapered, kind of pointed fluff brush. I'm gonna use this soft gray, and this is like a gray taupe. It's so pretty. I'm gonna start on the inner corner, and as well, I'm gonna put this on this outer corner. So I'm kind of blending it towards the center here, and on the outer corner to the center, and leaving that middle part of the lid for blank right now. We've already built up that gorgeous kind of champagne taupe there. So we're gonna leave that sort of blank, and we're gonna blend and buff this in on the inner and outer corners of the eye. Next, I'm gonna use the same color, that smoky taupe gray, just to define underneath the lower lashes. Now I'm gonna take this dark kind of center, it's sort of a sable, dark chocolatey brown shade, and I'm gonna pick this up onto this brush here, and we're gonna pack this color into the outer corner. See how that just adds depth there? I want it to be a little bit smokier and more dramatic. We're really gonna open the eye. This is gonna give it just really a nighttime kind of smoky look. And then we're gonna take our fluffy brush here and blend that out. So you can see we're really building up the darkness and the more drama on the outer parts of the eye. I'm gonna go back in with my bronze cream eyeshadow, and I'm just gonna use this to slightly blend out a little bit more into the crease, the very end here. I'm just gonna lightly just add a little bit more. When you're applying shadow to your lower lashes, I like to apply this kind of underneath the lashes. So you can use your lashes as a guideline, and when you place your brush there, you can feel that your brush is kind of tickling those lashes a little bit. Once you kind of locate those for yourself, take your brush and try to just wiggle it right up underneath those lower lashes. Now I'm gonna apply mascara. One of my favorite mascaras is this Dior Show. I think this one's called Blackout. I'll list it below. I wear this mascara when I really wanna lock in my mascara and I wanna ensure that it's not going to smudge. Take the brush, get it as close as I can to those roots of those top lashes, lightly wiggle the brush back and forth, pressing the brush into that lower lash line if you can. It takes a little bit of just getting comfortable doing this, and then bringing that brush forward, separating those lashes as you bring them forward. So wiggling it back and forth, gently pressing into that upper lash line with your wand, and then bringing it forward. I like that this technique builds almost an invisible eyeliner in that top lash line. So as you can see, the difference of these two eyes, it's pretty dramatic, and that's because this mascara is extremely, jet black, and it's lash building, and it gives a lot of volume, but it's also because we're pressing that into our upper lash line, creating that illusion of a thicker lash line at the base. All right, mascara is on. Now it's time to fill in the eyebrows. So I like to use a thin angled brush, pick up some of the color, and then I work it kind of into the brush on the back of my hand, so I get that brush nice and precise and sharp, so I can kind of whisk on and feather in color into my eyebrows. I like to start sort of in the center, this upper angle here. I'm gonna fill in my brows, kind of lightly sketching in little hairs. You see that little maneuver I did with the brush right here? So when I'm filling in my arch, my peak, the top here, I like to take my angled brush. So normally you'd be kind of sketching through, pressing and brushing. When I get to the arch, I flip the brush around and see how I'm lining up the edge of the brush with that line of my upper arch. And that when I press into that, that's gonna help create more of an arch and an angle there. So I lightly pat in the color there, sketch it in, turn the brush back around, line the edge of your brush with the line of your eyebrow, and lightly sketch down. So now that brows are on, you're probably thinking, I look really washed out and pale, and you're correct. I haven't put any bronzer, blush, or highlighter on yet. I've been waiting till my eyes were done to move on to that step. And for this, I'm actually gonna use this new product that I picked up from Beautycounter, and I love this bronzer. It's kind of a sculpting powder bronzer in one. I could use it for both if I wanted to. I'm gonna use it to just lightly sculpt my cheekbones, and I love that it doesn't have any shimmer and it's a matte shade. So I'm gonna pick this up on my kabuki brush and lightly sculpt underneath my cheekbones. So you notice I'm like picking my hair up and moving things around. This is so that I can see the shadows on my face with the light. When you're putting on any sort of powder to kind of sculpt your face, I think this, for me at least, it helps me to kind of see, gets the hair all out of the way, and I can really locate kind of where I want to put that contour color. And I like to start, you can use this front part of your ear right here as a guideline. You can kind of use that and kind of feel with your fingers or your brush kind of where your cheekbone is, and that's where I kind of like to start with that sculpting shade, and I don't like to bring it too far down to the corner of my nose. So I use that as somewhat of a guideline. Obviously there's no really hard and fast rules. You have to locate that for your own face. And I am going to use a blush today. I'm going to keep it kind of light. What I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to blend two colors. I'm going to first use this Kjaer Weis cream blush. I'm going to use a synthetic foundation brush to pick a little bit of that up onto the brush, and I'm lightly going to pat this into my cheeks, and if I need to, I'll add more of a pop with this one. So here we go. So lightly patting that in. On this side as well. It's really pretty, it's soft. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of my Charlotte Tilbury and I'm gonna pop this onto my cheeks. It's a much brighter pink, but I just feel like I need a little bit more lift. And I'm gonna pop that more on the center and the apples of my cheeks. I recently removed all of my eyelash extensions, which I loved. I sort of miss them. So I'm gonna put on just a couple of little lashes to give me a little volume boost. Okay, now that the lashes are on, I'm gonna lightly pat on highlighter, and I'm using this one from Becca. It's the Pressed Shimmering Skin Perfector Highlighter. And just lightly pick up some of the highlighter there and pat this lightly across my cheekbones. We need to do setting powder. I'm gonna use the Laura Mercier Loose Setting Powder, but I don't like to use a massive powder brush, big fluffy powder brush. I like to be a little more intentional when I apply powder, so I like to have more control, and I think it puts it on a little bit more precisely. So I'm just lightly going to put on this powder, so anywhere where you get shiny. Now moving on to lip color. Since I went pretty dramatic with a smoky eye, I'm gonna keep my lips nude. I'm first gonna line my lips lightly with this Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat. This is in the shade Pillow Talk. For my lips, I'm using the Gressa Lip Boost. This is such a beautiful shade I recently discovered. It's sort of a nude, and I like that it sort of mutes out color on my lips. And then as a finishing step, I want to apply a little bit of gloss. I'm using the Urban Decay lip gloss in Love Child. This is the final look. I really love how this kind of smoky, nude glam look turned out for Valentine's Day or Galentine's Day if you're celebrating with some of your girlfriends. It's a look that you can do anytime when you just want to have a little bit more fun and play around, maybe for an event or a dinner or fun night out. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Leave me any comments or questions that you have below. I'm happy to help you out with any technique tips or product suggestions. And make sure you subscribe, hit that little dingy bell button around there so that you get a notification every single Tuesday when I post new videos. I'll see you guys soon.